Mark chapter 5. Jesus heals a man possessed by demons. Beginning from verse 1. Jesus and his followers reached the other side of the Sea of Galilee, the country known as Gadarenes. And as Jesus alighted from the boat into the country, a stranger coming from the sepulchres came and met him. The stranger was possessed by demons. He had his residence among the sepulchres. It was impossible to restrain him, for everyone who had tried had failed. Many times he was previously restrained. His hands and feet were shackled, but he always destroyed the shackles and scattered the chains. He was extremely powerful, and no one could control him. By day and by night always, he roamed around the mountains and the sepulchres, yelling, yelping, and bruising himself with little rocks. He was somewhat far away when he looked and saw Jesus. He ran to Jesus and venerated and worshipped him. And he yelled with a piercing voice, "What business have I with you, O Jesus, Son of the Lord God, Most High? I beseech you, do not distress me." For Jesus told him, "Satan, O wicked spirit, come out of this man now." And Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" And the man replied, "Legion, for we are a multitude." And he implored Jesus that he should not expel them from the country. At this time, there was a group of pigs feeding near the mountain, and there were quite many. And so the evil spirits implored Jesus, "Drive us to the swine and allow us to possess them." Jesus allowed them to possess the swine. And so the demons left the man and possessed all the pigs, about 2,000 in total. And the group of animals ran crazily down the sharp sloping area and headlong into the lake, drowning immediately. The people who fed them witnessed this event and ran homewards into the city. They went everywhere in the country and made a report. Now the people came out to find out the facts of what happened. And so they approached Jesus, and they found the man who had been liberated from demons seated at the feet of Jesus. He was now clothed, no longer naked, decent, and in his right mind. The people were filled with awe. The witnesses who saw precisely what happened told the people how the man who was possessed by evil spirits was liberated and healed, and how the swine had perished. So the masses in the entire region of the Gadarenes asked Jesus to leave the place, for they were terrified. And Jesus entered the boat to proceed. But the man who had been liberated from evil spirits appealed to Jesus that he might accompany him. But Jesus granted him freedom, saying, "You may proceed to your kindred and your own dwelling, and tell what wonderful things the Lord God has done for you, and how he has had pity on you." So the man proceeded throughout the entire 10 cities, talking about the wonderful miraculous things Jesus had done for him. And everyone who heard was astonished. As Jesus arrived the other shore of the lake, a multitude thronged around him. He had alighted and was by the lake. And a man called Jairus soon arrived. He was a Jewish leader and bureaucrat in the synagogue. He greeted Jesus very humbly and politely, lowering himself at Jesus' feet. And he implored Jesus, saying, "My little daughter is seriously ill and dying. Please come to my residence and lay your hands on her, so that she will recover and live." Arising, Jesus followed him. There was a large mass of people following Jesus and crowding everywhere. Now there was a woman in their midst who had been sick with chronic hemorrhage for 12 years. Many doctors had tried to cure the disease but were unsuccessful. And she had spent all her wealth on medical care, but never improved. She only got worse. She had been informed about Jesus, and so she forced her way through the masses behind Jesus and gently touched the edge of his clothing. For she said to herself, "If only I touch his robes, I will be healed." Her hemorrhage stopped immediately, and she had a new feeling within her that she was liberated and cured of her sickness. And Jesus, absolutely aware within himself that power had left him, turned in the throng and asked, "Who just touched my robes?" But the followers of Jesus asked him, "Teacher, the crowds are increasing, pressing and thronging in on you. And are you asking who just touched me?" But Jesus observed the crowd carefully to see who it was that touched him. By this time, the woman knew that she was not hidden, and so she came forward filled with awe, and she very politely lowered herself before Jesus and told him everything as it was. And Jesus told her, "My daughter, your faith has made you healthy, renewed. Go in peace and be healed and liberated from every suffering and pain." Jesus had not quite concluded his speech when somebody came from the bureaucrat's residence and addressed him. "Jairus," he said, "your daughter has expired. Do not bother the master anymore." But when Jesus heard this, he told Jairus, "Fear not, only believe. Have faith in God." When Jesus was going to the residence, he would not allow anybody to join him except Peter, James, and John, who was the brother of James. Now Jesus came to Jairus' residence, and he saw a wailing crowd in utter chaos. And when he entered the place, he told the people, "Why all the chaos everywhere? Why is there wailing in this place? The girl is not dead. She's just slumbering." And the people laughed and made fun of Jesus, for they were sure that the girl was dead. But Jesus left the crowd behind, outside, and he took the parents, father and mother, of the girl and his companions, and they went inside and entered the girl's chamber. And Jesus took the girl by the hand and called her, saying, "Talitha kumi," meaning, "Little girl, I tell you now, arise and walk in excellent health." At once her spirit returned. The girl arose and walked in perfect health, and she was 12 years old. All the people in the place were astonished, but Jesus warned them not to discuss this event with anybody. He instructed them to give the girl foodstuffs and make her comfortable.